How many times have you let someone else decide your worth? Checking your phone, waiting, hoping, always on standby while they live their life. And when they finally reach out, it's on their terms, their timing, their convenience. You tell yourself it's fine. You convince yourself that maybe this time things will be different. But deep down, you know the truth. So, let's be honest. Are you a priority or just an option? Because if you don't take control of your emotions, if you don't define your own worth, someone else will, and you will always come second. But that ends today. This is where you take back control, where you stop waiting, stop hoping, and start choosing yourself. And it begins with mastering your emotions, the way the Stoics did. Before we dive in, let me ask you, have you ever felt like just an option in someone else's life? If you have, drop a quote in the comments. And if you're ready to take control, type priority below. Let's see who's really committed to change. Marcus Aurelius never begged for validation. He never waited for someone to acknowledge his worth. He didn't seek approval. He created value. He controlled his emotions, his actions, and ultimately, his destiny. The Stoics believed that your worth is not something others decide for you. It's something you define for yourself, and that's exactly where most people go wrong. Think about it. How much of your energy is spent worrying about what others think? How often do you let their approval or their indifference dictate your emotions? If you rely on others to determine your worth, you will always be at their mercy, always hoping, always waiting, always wondering if you're good enough. But today, that changes. Today, you're going to learn how to master your emotions, stay in control under pressure, and build unshakable self-worth, so that you will never be a second option in anyone's life again. Technique 1. Recognizing what you can and can't control. Why do people feel like they're just an option? Why do they always come second? Because they focus on the wrong things. They obsess over how others treat them. They worry about getting a response. They analyze every little detail, hoping to be chosen. But here's the truth. That's not up to you. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, taught a principle that changes everything. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. Think about it. You can't control whether someone texts you back. You can't control whether they prioritize you. You can't control how they feel about you. But you can control how you respond. You can control how you carry yourself. You can control whether you tolerate being treated like an afterthought. Let's make this real. Grab a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. On the left side, write down every single thing that's stressing you out, things that drain your energy, things that keep you up at night. Now, go through each one. Ask yourself, is this something I can control or something I can't? On the right side of the paper, rewrite only the things you can control, your mindset, your discipline, your boundaries. Look at that list. This is where your focus should be. Everything else, let it go. Every time you stress over things you can't control, you weaken yourself. You give away your peace, your energy, your focus, and for what? Nothing changes, except that you become more anxious. If you want to stop being an option, you need to stop acting like one, and that starts with taking back control of your mind. Technique 2. Premeditatio Malorum. Mental preparation for the worst. Most people suffer more in their imagination than in reality. Not my words, that's Seneca. Think about it. How many times have you let anxiety take over? How often do you find yourself fearing the worst, long before it even happens? A delayed response, and you assume they're ignoring you, a strange look, and you convince yourself you did something wrong, an unexpected situation, and panic sets in. But here's the truth. What makes you anxious isn't the event itself, it's that you weren't prepared for it. The Stoics had a practice for this, a mental strategy to build resilience before challenges even appear. They called it Premeditatio Malorum, the premeditation of evils. Seneca believed that by imagining obstacles before they happen, we weaken their power over us. It's not about being negative, it's about being ready. Because the truth is, hardships will come, people will disappoint you, unexpected situations will throw you off course. The question is, will you panic, or will you already know exactly how to handle it? Here's how you put this into practice. Every morning, take a moment to visualize the day ahead. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen today? Maybe a tough conversation, maybe a plan falls through, maybe someone ignores you. Instead of fearing it, prepare for it. Picture it happening now. Visualize yourself staying calm, not reacting, not letting it control you. Instead, handling it with complete composure. Because when you do this, something powerful happens. If that challenge does appear, it won't shock you. You won't be thrown off. Because in your mind, you've already been there. You've already won. This is how you take control of your emotions. This is how you stop being a victim of circumstances and start mastering them instead. Technique 3. Voluntary Discomfort. Training your mind through challenges. Most people chase comfort. They avoid struggle. They seek the easiest path, and that's exactly why they break when life gets hard. But the Stoics, they trained for hardship. They didn't wait for challenges to come to them. They created discomfort on purpose. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and other Stoic masters practiced something called voluntary discomfort. They deliberately made their lives harder in small ways, so that when real hardship came, they were already prepared. Here's something no one tells you. Comfort is a trap. Comfort is addictive. It makes you weak. It makes you soft. The first time life hits you hard, you break, because you never trained for it. That's why the Stoics trained their minds to handle discomfort, not because they enjoyed suffering, but because they understood that real strength is built in adversity. So, how do you apply this? You introduce discomfort into your life on purpose. Start small. Go a full day without checking your phone. Take a cold shower instead of a warm one. Eat only simple meals for a week. Nothing fancy, nothing excessive. These are minor inconveniences, but they train your mind. They teach you to be unshaken by difficulty, to adapt, to stay calm when things don't go your way. Because when you become comfortable with discomfort, nothing can break you. And once you master discomfort, the next step is to master silence. Technique 4. Silence and observation. Staying calm under pressure. Most people are slaves to their reactions. A single comment, a moment of disrespect, an unexpected challenge, and they snap. They raise their voice, lose their composure, and hand over their power without realizing it. But here's the truth. Reactivity is weakness. The strongest people don't react. They observe. Seneca once said, "When angry, do not speak. When emotional, do not decide. Because every decision made in anger is a decision you will regret. Every reaction made in frustration is a moment where you hand control to someone else." Think about the last time someone triggered you. Maybe they ignored you. Maybe they undermined you. Maybe they made you feel small. What did you do? Did you react instantly? Did you let their words dictate your emotions? Did you allow them to pull you into their game? The moment you react, you lose, because now they control you. They dictate how you feel. They decide your state of mind. And worst of all, you prove to them that you are easy to manipulate. But when you stay silent, when you observe instead of reacting, you take back your power. How to train yourself to stay in control. 1. Pause before responding. The next time someone insults you, do nothing. Take a deep breath, count to 5 before saying a word. Why? Because silence makes people uncomfortable. It forces them to reveal their true intentions. 2. Observe. Instead of engaging, most of the time people want a reaction. They feed off drama. They test your emotions to see if they can shake you. When you refuse to react, they lose control, not you. 3. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Does this deserve my time? Is this worth my peace? Will reacting change anything? Most of the time, the answer is no. 4. Master the art of the cold stare. When someone tries to provoke you, don't argue, don't explain, just look at them. A calm, steady gaze is more powerful than 1,000 words. When you train yourself to stay calm under pressure, something changes. People start respecting you, they start fearing you, because they realize nothing can shake you. And once you master silence, the final step is to master discipline. Technique 5. Self-discipline, the foundation of control and self-worth. If you don't control yourself, someone else will. If you don't set your own standards, the world will decide them for you. This is why discipline isn't just important, it's everything. It determines whether you lead your life or get dragged through it by external forces. Without discipline, you are a prisoner of your emotions, a victim of impulse, a puppet to other people's expectations. The Stoics understood this at the deepest level. They didn't let emotions dictate their actions. They didn't make decisions based on how they felt in the moment. Instead, they lived by principles, a personal code of conduct that remained unshaken no matter the circumstances. And that's what separates those who own their lives from those who are constantly reacting to whatever life throws at them. So ask yourself, do you have a code that you follow? Do you have non-negotiable standards that guide your actions? Or are you just drifting, letting external forces dictate your decisions? If you want to be unshakable, you must train yourself daily, not once in a while, not when you feel like it, every single day. Here's how you start. Check wake up at the same time every day. No snooze button, no negotiations. The first decision of your day sets the tone for everything else. Move your body. Physical strength builds mental resilience. Train your body, and your mind follows. Control your diet. Not because of aesthetics, but because what you consume affects your discipline. Mastering small decisions leads to mastering bigger ones. Reflect daily, journal, meditate, think. Before the world tells you who to be, decide for yourself. Set your own standards, and never lower them for anyone. If you constantly compromise your values to fit in, you've already lost control. Discipline isn't about restriction, it's about freedom. The freedom to make decisions from a place of strength, not weakness. The freedom to act on your values, not your emotions. The freedom to walk your own path, without being controlled by impulses or external pressures. When you control your actions, when you refuse to be ruled by impulse, when you live by your own principles, you become unstoppable. And when you master these 5 techniques, you don't just stop being an option, you become the priority. So let's bring it all together, right here, right now. If you're tired of waiting, if you're done hoping, if you're finished being someone's second choice, this is your moment. You don't become a priority by accident. You become a priority by design. And that design, it starts with the decisions you make today. Here's what you need to do. Control your emotions. Don't let them control you. Weak minds react. Strong minds observe, decide, and dominate. Prepare your mind so nothing catches you off guard. Anxiety only wins when you're unprepared. Train your mind like a warrior prepares for battle. Embrace discomfort so struggle never weakens you. Comfort makes you weak. Discomfort builds resilience. Choose your training ground before life forces it upon you. Stay silent and observe so no one manipulates your reactions. Power isn't in talking, it's in knowing when to listen, when to move, and when to strike. Above all, build discipline. Because without discipline, you are a slave to impulse, to emotions, to the opinions of others. And that is not an option anymore. Everything you've learned today is a blueprint. But a blueprint means nothing if you don't use it. So now, I challenge you. Pick one technique from today's video and apply it immediately. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now. Drop a comment below. Tell me which one you're committing to. Public accountability changes everything. But let's be real. Most people will hear this and do nothing. They'll go back to the same cycle, the same habits, the same excuses. But you're still here. That means something. So, here's the final step. If you're serious about this transformation, about shifting the way people perceive you, about building a presence so unshakable that people feel it before you even speak, then watch the next video. Because in that video, I'm going to teach you something even more powerful: how to control every social interaction, how to make people respect you, listen to you, and value you without saying a word. Power doesn't wait. Confidence doesn't wait. The world doesn't wait. Right now, you have two options. Step up, take control, and never be an option again, or hesitate and stay exactly where you are. Click the next video, because from this moment forward, you are the priority.